Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Esposito video podcast show. This is my very first episode that I'm recording here, and I'm happy to be recording it and speaking with you from my studio, my home studio. Today, I want to speak with you about what's going on in our world. Today is March 18th, 2020. We are going through a really tough time globally. Anybody listening to this live right now or even in a recording is old enough to understand what's going on right now. We're dealing with something called COVID-19 virus, also known as the coronavirus. And we're dealing with this by quarantining ourselves. There's no vaccination. There's no medicine for it right now. It's a flu. It's a sickness. It's a disease that we are all battling with or battling against or making sure we don't get. And so we're quarantining ourselves. It's changing a lot in all of our lives. It's for bad. But also what I believe and what this podcast is going to be about, this episode is going to be about, is the good that's going to be able to come out of all of this. Because I do believe there's good that's going to come out about it. But first, let's go over the bad things that are happening. And I'm going to give my take on what I think some solutions are and what some things that you can do to help yourself through all of this. And this is my best attempt at it. And if you have any feedback about it, I more than welcome it. Again, I try to stay in a positive light. I try to keep things positive in my life and in my comment and in the comments made and everything. So if you have some kind of commentary on it, I welcome it and I appreciate it. And I hope that you can only add to some of the solutions and add to some of the things that I'm bringing to the table. I don't push anything away, so please add to it. So let's jump right into it, right? COVID-19, an illness, we talked about that. We have to keep separation from each other. 6 foot distance is what they're requiring or asking us to do. If you don't have to go or report to your place of business, office, work, or whatever it is, they're asking you to pretty much self-quarantine here in the state of New York. I live in New York, upstate New York, which is about 80 miles north of New York City. And so we're all self-quarantining. I haven't been to my office. I'm an insurance agent, and I work locally at a very small office called Accent Financial and Insurance Services. And we have a small office. There's 2 partners, 2 receptionists, and myself. And I have not been reporting because my wife actually and daughter got sick. They've been diagnosed with pneumonia. I don't think it's the COVID-19. But nobody wants me to come into the office because they're worried about it. And I've been wanting to do these podcasts for a long time, so this is where I see some positive in it. So let's continue on the negative stuff first, and we'll go into the positive and go in there so I can keep this flowing in a organized fashion. Other employees, people, restaurants, bars have been shut down by the state of New York. They're closed. They can only do takeout. They can't have people come into their stores or their places of business. Most retail locations, our local mall here in upstate New York in the Poughkeepsie area has closed. Most of the stores in the mall are closed unless they have outside access, like Target. Target has access right to the parking lot, so I believe they're still open. So all of this is really changing the way and the dynamic that everything is happening. Because the restaurants and bars and places of business have all been shutting down and closing, people are now either working from home if they can, or they're pretty much on a temporary vacation or sick leave. I don't even know what to call it because I don't know exactly how all employers are handling it. I do understand that a company called The Loft is going to be paying their employees for the next 2 weeks that were on shift. So I don't know if all the businesses are doing that. But my point of that is people are out of work right now. And they're scared, they're worried. The economy is obviously taking a major hit for this. The stock market is at the lowest it's been, I think, since 2008. I can't really speak on that because I don't know much about it, but it's low. I've been seeing it, and I see the numbers are low and not good. And then also we're all quarantined, so we can't go out, we can't touch things, and all this other stuff. And you might think that I'm overreacting, and that's fair. But for now, we are reacting that way. I'm married with 2 young children, and we're trying to make sure that we take all the precautions necessary. I also have many healthcare workers in my family who have also said to take these precautions, and we're not overreacting. And also, if you listen to the scientists and all the different doctors out there who are giving their expert opinions, we really should be taking this very seriously. All right, so that's the negative part, right? That's everything that's terrible about it. One last thing, and we'll probably touch on it again, but you think about the plague, the flu of 1918, the Spanish flu of 1918, which killed over 50 million people, and you think about all these things, this is repeated in history, and SARS, the outbreak that we had in 2003 in our country. So this is something that's repeating itself. So how do we get through it? I have some ideas. I have some marketing ideas. I have some business ideas. I have some self-help kind of ideas that I want to share with you in this episode. And here we go. One of the things that's happened to me because I'm forced to work from home is I've always had a little bit of a desire, not a little bit, a lot of it. I've had this desire to start my podcast. I've had this desire to start recording and filming and doing these kinds of shows and everything, but I've been either putting it off because I don't have the time, or just don't feel the urge or the pressure to do it right away, and just saying, okay, I could do it tomorrow, whatever that is. What this has done, what the COVID-19 crisis has done for me, is that it's locked me up in my office where I'm doing my insurance work and everything I need to do to take care of my clients and potential clients. But also it's given me time to where I don't have a coworker to speak to. So I have this camera to speak to, and it's given me time to work on my podcast and my podcast skills. In fact, I've recorded several podcasts before this episode that you're going to see right now. But after watching them, editing, I feel that I need to put out some better content for you. So I'm finding different ways to be able to work from home. I'm set up to be able to work from home as an insurance agent. Everything I need is online. All the files and paperwork I can do is online. If somebody needs to sign something, I could just send it to them, get them to sign it, and fax and email it back to me. It's not a big deal. I know I almost slipped in the word fax there. I don't have a fax machine here. But anyway. All right, so that's the way that I'm set up. For you, you might not be able to work from home the way that I'm working from home, and you might not be comfortable enough to get in front of a camera or anything like that. But there's a couple options that I see for people. And let's go with the person that's stuck at home because their job is closed. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm filming this, so you could either be watching this or you could also be listening to this. I'm also recording it as a podcast. So I'm doing it as a YouTube video, and I'm also going to be posting it on iTunes and all the other formats that are available for podcasting, Google Play and all that stuff, right? So you're listening to it in 2 ways. I'm comfortable doing it that way. You might not be comfortable in front of a camera, and so therefore you can start a podcast. If you're working from home, you could start a podcast and just start speaking to the microphone. This is going to do a couple things for you. It's going to get you to, one, have an outlet to where you can vent. It's going to help you become much more comfortable sharing your thoughts and your ideas. And the reason why I want you to be more comfortable and share your thoughts and ideas is because depending on how long this lasts, my understanding is that this could last more than the 2 weeks that they're giving us off from certain things. This could last for 6 months, up to a year, up to longer than that. You might have to find new ways to earn an income, and that might be through some sort of online medium, and I'm going to go through some of that with you. One of the ways that you can earn an income working from home, and by the way, I want to preface everything I'm talking about. There's no pyramid scheme to any of this. I'm not a marketer of this stuff or anything like that. These are just ideas and thoughts that I'm coming up with. Well, they're not new to me, that they're online. You could find them all. My point that I'm making is that this isn't some program I'm trying to get you enrolled in. So I want to just preface that. I'm just trying to share some ideas to help you maybe open your mind up to different things that you can do from home. And so one of them that I think of is doing some online courses. So getting yourself acclimated with speaking on microphone, on camera, and into some audio or whatever it is, and speaking about your expertise, speaking about things that you are very knowledgeable about. Maybe they're your hobby, maybe they're your work, whatever it is, but speak about something that has value. Speak about something that somebody wants to learn about or hear about. I believe that what I'm putting out right now, somebody, whoever's listening to this, other than my mother who loves me and might listen to it, but somebody who's listening to this and doesn't know me is listening to this because they believe they're going to get some content out of this that they could use in their lives, some kind of value. This is providing some sort of value to them. And this is free, this part, right? But what you can do is put out videos, put out podcasts, you can write a blog, you can write a book, you can write whatever it is. The point is that you can do all of that stuff that I just said to you from your home. And you take down your ideas, write down right now while you're listening to this, start thinking about what are you good at? What do you love to talk about? What do you love to learn about? What can you share with people? And if you're one person, trust me, if the content is out there and you're consuming it, you're not the only person consuming it. Otherwise, it wouldn't even see the light of day, right? So you have to believe that there's other people out there that want to consume the same content that you're consuming. And all you have to do is put a new spin on it in your own way, whether it's through writing, whether it's through speaking, or through video, and obviously speaking as well. Put it all down, get it all out. And you could start sharing that. There's an online academy called Udemy. They didn't pay me to say their name. I just learned about it. A friend of mine from Toastmasters shared that with me, and you could put your course on their website, and they'll pay you for putting your course on there. So you don't even have to do all the marketing legwork or anything like that. You put your course on there. If it's good and people want it, they'll buy it, and you can earn an income through doing that. There's also you could write a book, you could write a novel, you could write a science fiction, whatever it is. My point is, don't feel that if you're locked up at home that you can't earn an income through it inside your home. You can. It might not be what you were earning before. And even if you were earning minimum wage, it might not even make it to a minimum wage status from the beginning. It's going to take time. You speak to any artist, you speak to any author or anybody who does this kind of stuff from their home studio or whatever. It's going to take time. It's going to have to build legs, and you're going to have to just be patient. And with this quarantine that we all are under, it seems like we kind of have the time. So try to do that. This is one way of doing it. There's so many other ways to do it. I'm just going to assume that since you're listening to this, you probably have some kind of enjoyment with podcasts or videos if you're watching this or whatever it is. So therefore, that might be a good outlet for you. Hey, look, maybe opening your own e-commerce site might be a good outlet for you. And I'm going to speak about that for our retail stores and our business owners in a second. But that's what I wanted to just touch on for the person right now that's just out of work, is that you have opportunities to make money from home. Don't fall into the trap of the get rich quick. Please don't do that. Just think about it. If you're out there trying to get rich quick, it's really not going to work. Most people will tell you, anybody that has tried to get rich quick, they failed at it. Anybody that you think of as an overnight success, read their bio, learn their history. They're not an overnight success. They took years to get to where they're at. You look at any actor, I'll use an example, and then we're going to move on from this, but Brad Pitt, the actor. I'm going to assume that most of us listening or watching this know who Brad Pitt is. His quote unquote debut movie was Thelma and Louise. That's where he made a name for himself. That's where he was recognized in Hollywood. He booked so many more big roles after that. But everybody saw him in Thelma and Louise and said, wow, that's his first movie. That's the first movie he did. That is not the first movie that Brad Pitt made. That's not the first time that Brad Pitt starred or acted in a movie. That's the first time he was recognized. And so therefore he was, I don't know if that's what they didn't say he was an overnight success, but you can look at him and say he was an overnight success. He was in Thelma and Louise and then he blew up and exploded. Yes, that's true. But he put in the time, he put in the work, and he was in a bunch of other movies that you never heard of before he booked Thelma and Louise. Same thing for you at home. You got to put in the time, put in the work. Casey Neistat, who I might have said his name wrong, is a YouTube vlogger. I just listened to his entire bio. I've been watching him. I watch him for a long time, and I didn't know about his history. I thought that he just got big by doing vlogs, and he did get big by doing vlogs, but he also did a ton of other stuff before that. He had a show that sold to HBO before he did his vlogs. I never knew about that. I just saw him as a vlogger and got popular from that. Look into the people that you believe are overnight successes. More than likely, they put in a lot of time, a lot of work, failed a lot before they got successful. And so you can too. You just have to believe in yourself and give it time and fail and fail and fail and just try and try and try and assume and eventually you'll become successful. I really believe that. I mean, I'm trying right now. I've failed at multiple things. I don't even want to get into that right now, right? That's not what this podcast is about. Let's go to the retail shops. Retailers, what can you do? You're a business owner. You have a small shop. You have a small retail shop. People aren't coming in. People are afraid to come in. You have not been mandated to close, but a lot of you are closing from my understanding. Retailers, and I'm going to lump a couple other retail type of locations in, like hair salons and beauty salons and which I know, by the way, are the same. And then mechanics and any type of business that's out there right now where you need somebody to walk in and buy your product. Let's move away from the mechanic. That's service. I'm going to talk about service in a minute, but let's talk about the retailer. And also, by the way, stick around. I'm going to be speaking also about the bars and the restaurant, and I have some really great ideas for you too. But I want to just touch on a retailer because I feel that what I'm going to share with everyone about the bars and the restaurants, everybody can do. So, retailer. Here's something that you can do. Nobody's coming in your store. You're standing there, you're twiddling your thumbs, you're panicking, you're nervous, you don't know what to do. I know, I understand that. And this advice that I'm going to give you goes to everybody. And don't take it lightly. When you opened your doors, when you started your business, did you have customers? More than likely, no. Okay, yeah, you had some friends and family who said, hey, as soon as you open your door, I'm going to be there. But I'm talking about customers. I'm talking about people that never met you before, that never saw you before and walked through those doors. Did you have that? No. You didn't have an iPhone opening. You didn't have a line around the corner waiting for you to open your doors. You know that you didn't. If you booked a grand opening and got a couple 50 to 100 people there, that's great. But you also had to promote it and everything. I'm talking about people just walking through the door. The point is that you didn't know. You had a belief that people would come. And I'm urging you to go back to that belief, to go back to that mentality, to believe that people will come back. If this lasts longer than it's predicted to last, if this is worse than what they're saying it is, then we're in real trouble. And your retail location is not, it should be the last of your concern. Living should be your concern at that point, right? So this is going to end eventually, and people are going to get back to shopping and buying and everything. Believe in your store, believe in your business strategy, and pivot and change it. And here's the change that I have for you. If you could just believe that this is going to blow over eventually, and you might have to shut your doors for now. You might have to take all your inventory and put it into storage. I understand that, but stay relevant. And it's the same to every business that we're going to talk about in this podcast. You must stay relevant, because when people come back out of their shelter and need their car fixed, need to get a bite to eat, and need to buy a gift or just something fun for themselves, they're going to go to the places that they recognize, that they remember, that they've been watching on YouTube or on social media or something like that. They're going to go to those places. So you need to be in front of them. You need to be relevant, and you need to be engaging and fun. I'm trying to do that through this. I meet most of my clientele by going to the gym. I meet most of my clientele by going to networking events, by going out and visiting them in the public and having conversations with them. And I can't do that. So I'm doing this so that I could get in front of everybody and I can be relevant. I'm urging you to do the same. So if that means giving a video tour of your location and telling everybody about it, if that means venting on your YouTube channel or whatever it is, and try to stay positive, right? But my point is like, if you go around a store and say, man, this used to have 50 people in it, and right now we're empty, so I'm bored right now, but here's what I'm doing, and you're doing something fun. Do a TikTok dance, make pictures of everything. Set up you could take some of the stuff on your shelves, take them down, put them on the counter, and make believe people are buying from your store. Do something fun, do something creative, do something exciting, film your own commercial in your location, something that you were were never had the time to do because you were so busy with customers. Now you have the time to do it. Film a commercial on your cell phone and just post it online. Stay relevant. Take pictures of the items. Tell a story. Tell a story about each item and how it got there. And even if you get stuff that is just packaged from whatever, tell a fun story how it came from China. Tell an imaginary fun story how it came from China on a boat, on a ship, and was in a container and came across the ocean and was sent to the ports of New York City, Manhattan, and was shipped up to upstate New York and was unpackaged. And here it is on your shelf straight from China, which so is the coronavirus. But we digress. I think you get my point here about just being relevant and finding a way to make your store relevant. And like I said, even if you have to put everything in a storage unit, start filming, start documenting, start posting, keep it fun. Be the positive light, be the positive energy, be the one that people want to remember and want to come visit when this thing is over with. Let's go on to our service. Let's go to service, and then because restaurants, there's so much to dive into on restaurants. I want to go to service right now because that's my industry, right? I'm in a service industry. My clientele, I service them. I meet with them. I offer them products, and I'm an insurance agent. So what I offer is pretty much a signature and a check. I don't have anything to exchange with them outside of them knowing that now they're covered and that, whatever their home, their auto, their business is covered through insurance. Although business interruption does not cover the COVID-19 crisis. That's a whole other thing. Check out my Quick Tip Tuesday. I go over that there. What I'm talking about when I'm talking about the service industry, the mechanics, the people out there that do things for you in exchange for money. Right now, we're not able to meet with those people. Go back to my whole statement that I just made about retail. Stay relevant. If you're a mechanic, what you can do is go to the garage. If you can't go to the garage, do it from home. Film yourself changing your oil. Film yourself giving your car a tune-up. Even if it doesn't need a tune-up, show people you have an expertise. Show people how to do it themselves. Show people how you do it. Maybe there's a gearhead out there who just never takes care of their car themselves. They pay you to do it, but they're interested and they want to see how it's done. Maybe they want to learn about it and you're going to teach them. And they're going to come to your shop when this all blows over and say, hey, you taught me how to change my oil. You taught me how to do a tune-up. I don't have time to do it because I'm back at work right now, but I really loved the video and I want you to work on my car. You're going to build that trust with them. And any type of service, that industry that's out there, the lawyers, the accountants, anybody, you can talk about your services. I do something called Quick Tip Tuesday where I educate and help my my Facebook followers, my social media followers on Instagram. I put it out in YouTube and everywhere. I try to inform them on the different insurance policies that are available and the different coverages that are out there, how coverages work. That's what I do to stay relevant in order for people to learn about what I do. You can do the same. If you're a lawyer, you can talk about different things. I don't know lawyer talk, but you get my point, is that you could talk about that stuff. You can stay relevant and in front of your client is the point that I'm making. And you can showcase your services. And we in the service industry are fortunate, maybe not the mechanic, but we as like accountants and lawyers and insurance agents are fortunate because we can pretty much do a sale right over the phone. For the other people, like I said, the auto mechanic who's out there servicing engine cars and can't do that right this second, maybe you can start maybe just going and picking up. Tell somebody, okay, look, here's an idea. Here's an idea for you. I have an idea, and if you're not an auto mechanic but you have something similar to an auto mechanic, this might work for you. Make videos about how to change the oil and all the other stuff that I talked about. Be relevant. And in it, let your viewers or your listeners know that they can leave their keys on the hood of their car at such and such time, watch you from the window or something, and you will come pick up their car after it's been thoroughly cleaned. Maybe you have to tell them to thoroughly clean it or something. Pick up their car, drive it to your garage, show them how you'll clean the car as well, so that you can drive it to your garage, service everything, do some kind of special for servicing the vehicle or whatever it is, and then show them, record yourself cleaning their car, and then bring it back and deliver it. I think that's an awesome idea. I don't know what would be in the way of all of that. You know, if you have a garage insurance policy, you're covered to drive their car anyway. So you'd be covered to do that. You don't need to tow it or anything like that. And disclaimer, I don't know what your policy looks like. I don't know if you have hired non-auto. I don't know if you have the right garage policy. So please, you speak with your insurance agent before you go off and drive somebody else's vehicle. Make sure you are covered. I don't know if you are or aren't. So I'm going to put a disclaimer out there since I don't want anybody coming back and suing me for that statement. But find out first. Make sure you're covered to drive other people's cars if you're a garage owner. Okay, the point is that you can probably still do business, actually, from what I'm thinking now with that idea. And you can show people how you clean the car so that they're comfortable enough to get back in. Maybe you wear gloves and all that stuff before you get in, and a mask and everything before you get in their car and work on it. And you could take a video of that so that you could service cars right now. Again, you know what's another really great marketing tool with all of this is that people are working from home. Right now I'm working from home. My car hasn't left its driveway all week. So all the things that I don't have time to do, change the brakes, change the tires, change the oil, you know, all the servicing stuff that that sometimes I don't have time to do in my daily life can be done right now. And all you gotta do is do it. And maybe you can even just not even take the car because you could change the oil right in my driveway. So you could just do that right there. All right. Now let's go into bars and restaurants. If service people, reach out to me if you have any questions or ideas or anything like that. Bars and restaurants, you have been shut down, and I think we all feel bad for you. Even like myself, like I said, you know, I work on commission only, so I don't make money by sitting here. So, but it sucks for me. But I'm able to do this. But you have been shut down, which really I can't even imagine. So I empathize with you. But here's what you can do. Let's try to find a silver lining. Let's be positive about it. Let's stay on the idea of being relevant. Keep your bar, keep your restaurant relevant. I just saw something, Hudson Valley Brewing Company and Hudson Ale Works. Those are two friends of mine who own bars, not bars, but breweries. And what they're doing is they're doing pickup. They're letting everybody know through social media that you can order online and you can come by and pick it up. They'll bring it out to the car. You as a bar or restaurant, if you're allowed to be open, I'm not exactly sure if you are or if you aren't right now, but that's what you could do. You could do a pickup. You can just make sure all of your social media followers, make sure all of your marketing is going out there, letting everybody know that you're doing curbside drop-off, pickup, whatever it is. Maybe you could do some kind of like crazy drop box where you put it in a box and it sits there and they come by and they pick it up so that there's no contact between you and the person. There's so many different options that you could do in order to sell it. What I want to get into that I was saying earlier that I think are some really cool ideas for you as a bar and a restaurant owner right now in order to market yourself and stay relevant is going back to the whole retailer, is filming your process of how you prep the food, recording that, speaking about it, speak about the nutrition in your food. Even if you have fatty, you know, French fries and burgers, there's nutrition in there, and you could speak about that. You could speak about what makes your burgers so great. You could speak about the ingredients and where they come from. You can talk about so many different things that keep you relevant. Show pictures. Make sure you're on Instagram on a regular basis. The last marketing study that I've read, I don't do this, but you need to do this if you're shut down, is to post a picture every single day on Instagram. Post a picture of a meal every single day. You need to eat. So even if nobody's buying your meals, you might as well make a meal for yourself every day that's a grade A meal from your restaurant. Take pictures of it. Show it on Instagram. Take videos of it. Show yourself prepping it, doing all that stuff. Another thing that I think could be really fun, because that's for a certain niche. Another niche that I think could be fun is having your food interact with us. There's so much sketch comedy out there and cartoons out there of food talking to us. I can't remember the one on Cartoon Network of the soda cup and the meatball and everything that have a personality and they speak. Do like a whole skit of your food talking to us. Make it fun, make it engaging, make it different than everybody else. Everybody understands that you're trying to reach out to them and let them know that you're still alive and well. So no one's going to judge you on the kind of marketing. You know, keep it clean, keep it fun, keep it positive, and I think everybody's going to really enjoy it. And another thing, TikTok is huge for this, of the skits, of the dancing and the singing, and they're huge on that. Maybe you could do a TikTok skit with your food or with whoever's at your place, or even just yourself. Learn one of those dances. You got plenty of time on your hands. Learn one of those dances. My point is, stay relevant. Stay in front of everybody. Write a blog about your food. Be your own critique. Critique other food sources, suppliers, restaurants. Go through it. I suggest to stay positive. Throw the props out to other restaurants that are like yours or that are different than yours or complement yours. Keep everybody relevant. We're all in this together. If Main Street has 10 restaurants on it, that only helps your business if all 10 restaurants are open, because it's Restaurant Row. And so people go to Restaurant Row and either go to your place one day or go to somebody else's place the other day. So help each other out. Do videos with other chefs, with other business owners. This goes out to everybody, by the way. Do that for everybody. If you're a retail shop, think about what a mall is. People go to a mall because it's a bunch of retail shops. So if you help the other retailer next to you, it's only going to help you. Me doing this video is to help you because it's going to help me some way or another. I don't know yet. So do that stuff. Stay relevant. Stay in front of your customer base. Let them know that you're alive. And again, going back to the restaurants, if you have to shut your business down because right now you can't pay the rent, you can't pay the mortgage, and you have to shut down, keep the name alive. Keep the name in front of people. When this all blows over, buy a food truck, do a pop-up, get yourself back up and running. Go back to that belief that you had when you started your business. Go back to square one. Build that clientele back up. And right now, honestly, you're starting with a little bit of a head start, because when you first started your business, you had no clientele. And now you have some sort of a clientele that right now is just dormant. That's all they are. They're just dormant. They just can't come to you. They want to come to you. I want to go out and eat a delicious burger. I've talked about burgers a lot right now, but you get what I'm saying. I want to go out and have a delicious meal with my family at a restaurant. I want to go back to normalcy. We all do. Stay relevant. Stay in front of us. Keep us wanting your food, and find new ways to be able to deliver it, to be able to do curbside pickup, to be able to do takeout. Find ways to engage everybody to buy from you, and when this blows over, to come to your restaurant or establishment. Everything I just said, I think can resonate with everybody who's out there, whether they're business owners or employees. There's ways to make money from home. There's ways to keep your business relevant. There's a silver lining to this. The negative result of this virus is that we are not able to go out, that we're isolated, that we're in isolation, or what's the other word? Quarantine. Right? That's the part that sucks. But the great part about it is that we could learn new things about ourselves. We can learn new skills. We can craft new marketing ideas. We can find the silver lining in this and get better at our lives. We can learn. We can go through these online courses that are available to us. If you don't want to put out online courses, if you don't want to put out videos, if you don't want to put out marketing, you can sit at your computer and learn rather than binging on Netflix, which is fun. And look, I'm not judging you for doing it. I do it myself. Sometimes we just got to get our brain away from everything. But rather than binging on Netflix for 2-3 days straight, do it for an hour, do it for a day, fine, whatever. Start learning. Start sharpening your saw. Start sharpening your blade. Start learning a new skill. Start honing in on your skill. Become better at it. This whole time that you're being quarantined, become the best retailer. Learn how to be the best. Learn how to do new things, how to open up an online store, how to create your own marketing, how to create a podcast. Start learning so that when this blows over, you can come out on top. You come out with the advantage. Don't sit at home and sulk. Don't get all depressed about it. If you need to do that for a day, do it. Get it out of the way. Mourn, grief, cry, scream, yell, do all of that stuff. And then come back to reality and realize this is all going to stop. This is all going to end. It's going to go away. And come back and work on your business. Work on yourself. Be the best employee. Be the best business owner out there so that when this all ends, you can hit the ground running. You're going to have to start over maybe, but you can hit the ground running and build momentum to be the best, to earn, to be back to where you were. I believe you can do that. I believe in you. Look, you got to do something. You got to do something. I'm doing this. This is my thing. This is what I'm doing right now. This might not be for you, but this is what I'm doing find something for you. Tell me in the comments. Comment, send me a message, whichever way you find this, send me a message. Find me somehow or another. Tell me what you're doing. Let's talk about it. Let me help you. Let me connect you with somebody, a resource, send you a link to somebody that I watched. I'm going to give you a couple resources right now. Casey Neistat, Think Media. Those are really great ones that I've watched for podcasts and YouTube videos and building my channel. Casey Neistat and Think Media, Sean Cannell over there at Think Media. I don't know them from a hole in the ground. They have no clue who I am, but I learned so much from them. Tony Robbins, no clue who I am. He doesn't know me, but I've learned so much from him. Just watching his videos, learning and listening from him and from them. You can do the same. Learn, listen, watch, do all that stuff, and then start applying it in your life and do it. You could do it right from home. I'm going to end this podcast here. I can go on about this for even longer, but I'm going to end it here. I'm going to thank you. I want to thank you if you stuck around this long and listened to my very first podcast. I want this podcast to always be motivating, to always be inspirational, and help you learn, help you be able to do and accomplish what you want to accomplish. In this podcast, it's not just going to be me talking. I'm going to have some podcast interviews with people, and just try to make this the best podcast. I believe that right now my podcast is good, but I'm going to make it better and better and better and better. It's always going to get better. It's always going to progress. It's something that I love to do. So if you watch this one, if you listen to this one, I just want you to believe that this is only going to get better. I'm only going to put out better content for you. I want to thank you again for listening, for watching, for subscribing, for clicking like. Please do that. Please help me get this out to everybody. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for your positive energy. I appreciate it. Love you all. Stay healthy, everybody. Try to listen to what the CDC is telling us to do. Try to listen to the scientists out there. They're the ones who study this, who know this. Listen to your medical professionals who are in your families, who are part of your friendships. Listen to them. I'm going to cut this off here. Goodbye.